Now, gold is very, very important when it comes to solo leveling a rise, of course. Now, I say that, you know, people are still struggling. It kind of makes sense because obviously gold right now, it's a bit of a struggle to come by. That's why whenever there's events or codes coming out where there's free golds, as we had recent events where, you know, if you just participated, that's 100k coming your way. That does go a long way in terms of what you're able to do with working on your characters or weapons. Now, I say that obviously the higher the level you get, the more gold it requires. So even though, you know, 100k does sound a lot, it can go in an instant, to be fair. But any gold at this point will do. Now the big old question is there a nice way of going about getting gold? Is there a consistent way about getting gold? Especially once you hit that end game, the end game side of things, of course. Is there a way? Now, there is a way, and this is the way that I've been doing it, and effectively this is, I would say, probably the best way of doing it, or the only best way of doing it. Now, of course, outside of just going about and getting it through story, because for the most part with certain modes, well, most modes do give you gold here and there, you know, for Battlefield of Trials, for example, for head over to, which is a floor 32, no, 31. It's like, for example, floor 31 gives you 110k gold. The higher the floor you get, then the more gold that you can obtain through certain floors. But it's a one-time deal, so it's not exactly that helpful. We need some sort of consistency of obtaining gold throughout, potentially on a daily basis. So again, Battlefield of Time, that's a one-time deal. Story at the very beginning will be very, very nice. This will be like kind of like your bread and butter to get a good amount of gold, but once again, it is a one-time deal. Obviously, once you get to the hardest stage, you can benefit from actually getting a lot more gold. I have still to progress the hard stages. I'm taking my time with it because I'm trying to not waste the XP. Because, I mean, if there is a level increase, I want to be prepared. But, you know, there is a good amount of gold to be given there. Obviously, now we've got reverse mode, so that's another way to get gold. But, again, it is a one-time deal. Another ways to get gold is through achievements, which I believe there is one achievement that I need to claim. Yep, spend this amount of gold and get 150k back. Yeah, that sounds a good trade-off. No, it doesn't. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, you've got achievements to get gold here and there. Early on, I will say, I just quickly want to mention this because I did find this really helpful. Challenges. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Doing these challenges really did give me a decent amount of resources as well as gold. So if you want catering to doing the challenges, please do, because you actually get a lot from it. Even now, because obviously before, I think it stopped at chapter 12 or was it 13 that stopped at? It was up chapter 12 or 13 that they stopped at, but like, no, yeah, no, they stopped at chapter 12, so 13 and onwards is newer ones. But like, going further on, I mean, obviously there's gold being applied there, but more importantly, they're giving you these keys. Now, I say that is because these keys are a way to actually get a lot more gold in a more consistent manner. But again, challenges, I would say, really did help me out to actually help out progress my account and whatnot when it comes to gold, resources, and all that good stuff. Again, that's more of a one-time deal. The consistency for gaining gold truly does come from gates, as well as mining, and then the artifacts. Those are the three ways that I've been capitalized on actually getting a ton of gold. Now again, through the events, this is going to be somewhat consistent, that there'll always be events around where you can obtain gold here and there, so you know, we can always rely on gaining gold from here, although like I always say, it's a one-time deal. So those are the three ways of you are going to get in a more consistent manner of getting gold throughout your time playing Solo Leveling the Rise. So we'll start things off with gates. Now again, the higher the power level, the higher level you are, the more that you can earn. If you're lucky, you unlock certain reward, certain fights like this where your gold does get a bit of a buff. So for example, if I did this fight, I can even walk away around about this much, which isn't bad. You know, we'll take that. But in general, I'm looking around about 2 to 2.5k per run for the golds, of course. Does it stay the same? Okay, so, oh wait, levels. I always forget about that. So level 72, level 73, level 81. So the higher the level, of course, you can maximize a lot of gold out of it. So there's that. Again, this is a nice little way. Once you get through the initial XP bonuses, then they start giving you more gold out. So gate missions are one of the best ways to consistently get gold on a daily basis. So I mean, that's kind of stating the obvious, but again, by working on your account, by working on your levels, by working on your power levels, etc., getting them up, effectively the gates itself will improve, and then you can raise up the difficulty to then of course walk away with better rewards. We'll say that, better rewards, a little bit more experience, but more importantly, you're getting a good amount of gold on a daily basis. So that's one way to go about on maximizing gold consistently. And then through completing the gates, you can then head over to the mining side of things, and then from that, by collecting all of these, effectively you are going to be walking away with a decent amount of gold. So 45k there, 10k there, 18k there. Again, while you're working on your mining team, you are also leveling it up, and by doing that, it is helping out by buffing up the gold side of things. So obviously you want to make sure that you are mining everything, even if it means that you're mining lower level, as long as you're using a mine key and it's giving you, a gate, as long as you're completing the gates and you're unlocking mines, you want to make sure that you're always catering to and leveling up your mining, because effectively it is helping you out in the long run. So that's something that you want to cater to on a daily basis. Now through that, of course, your activity funds will also be a nice way to obtain gold, and in the similar fashion of working on hunters, by leveling them up, not only is it helping out on getting more XP, because I did make a video talking about how you can gain more XP, but by leveling up your hunters, so right now with all the hunters that I have in total together, they're level 1718, and from that I'm getting an extra 8.5% XP, which is nice, but I'm also getting an extra 8.5% gold. It does max out at 10% per XP and gold, so this is a nice way to kind of go about on gaining that little bit of extra gold through the activity funds, again, throughout the day, whenever you choose to claim it, right? Now, with that being said, you know, I feel like you just got to be a little bit cautious when it comes to working on hunters, because effectively you really don't need to work on every single hunter. Once you pick and choose specific hunters you want to work on, then you are kind of efficiently using your gold, which makes it so that you don't need too much. So that's something to obviously cater to, which I feel like most are. You know, just work on specific characters that are going to help you progress through the game itself, the broken ones, and you'll be a-okay, and then you'll find that your gold efficiency won't be as crazy to what you thought it would be, in terms of if you were working on so many characters. So as you guys can see, I've kind of, I've kind of stopped working on some of the SRs that I don't really need, nor do I need to cater for. I'm only working on the SRs that I really need to. SSRs, I always level up to the max. Realistically, I should have left the Wind Boys, I should have left Lim, to be honest, and I should just cater to everyone else. That's just me from my perspective on how I'm going about doing it. So, but anyway, that just kind of wanted to throw that out there to make sure that you're not working on all the hunters or hunters that don't really need to be worked on for right now. Now, the best way to go about getting gold that I've been doing, that's been working for me, is by doing encore missions and instant dungeons, right? So by doing that, of course, you are walking away with the artifacts, and from that you're selling them, ones that you don't need, that is. Let me just clarify that. Now, in terms of keys, like I said, you're going to get events that are going to be available. Capitalize and maximize on getting those keys. So I believe there was a recent event which I believe has ended, which I can't remember what it was, but I think it was either leveling up your hunters or maybe working on artifacts, where you were able to get free keys. That was one way of going about getting keys, but on a daily basis, you can, when you're doing the mining, go to the exchange shop and you can buy 2 keys from here and 2 keys from here. Always maximize on doing that, so that way you can effectively run the dungeon, being the encore mission twice, right? So it gives you an extra key. So in total you're going to get 8 keys there, 8 keys there, and you're going to be maximizing by getting your daily runs of artifacts, of course. And the ones that you don't, also I should also mention before I forget, the gates do also give you artifacts. The gates, I mean, for me personally, they give me lower rarity, but the gates also do give you artifacts from time to time. And pretty much when you're doing those runs, what you want to do is, with the artifacts that you don't need anymore, you pretty much just sell. So if I head over to salvage, and then if I go over to rarity, and then let's do, how do I do this? There we go. So what I typically like to do is I like to sell the lower rarity ones first. Now, keep in mind, if you are going to be selling the lower level artifacts, obviously it's not going to cost as much, but if I go for level 40, it does cost a little bit more. So once you are able to do the higher difficulty of the artifacts, that's when the gold is going to be pretty nice when you're selling per artifact. So there we have it. So 100 is the limit, and if I did 100 of the common at level 40, that's 90k coming my way. So we can actually do the same thing for and then when it comes to the level 45 version of rares, it's 1500 per, so that's 150k if you do 100 of these. But not too bad, it's kind of worth it. But how much am I getting if I just do 2 full rows? Just over 10k. Okay, that's not too bad. So that's pretty much the rare side of things. Again, I should also mention that with the accessories, it is the same, so nothing changes there. Heading over to the wait, what are these? Epic, there we go. So with the lower version of the Epic, it's 1000, so 100k right there. Very nice. And then, oh, what are the levels looking like? Oh wow, okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Alright, cool. So I can get some extra coins right there if I need those. And then when it comes to the higher rarity versions, 1600, so it's only, oh wow, only 100 difference per the rare and the epic. Interesting. So that's 160k basically. So you get basically an extra 10k. There you go. So there's that. And then heading over now to the legendaries. So this is the big boys now. So if we head over to the lower rarity one, 1100, so that's 110k for 100. If I said all of these, let me see something. Damn, all of that for 150. That's worth it. I'm not even going to use any of it, although that, I mean, that does look good. But stat wise, I can get better ones. Anyway, okay, well, that's pretty nice. And then for the higher rarity, 1700, so in total if you sell 100 version of these, then you're getting 170k. But yeah, when it comes to gold, this is going to be a nice little bread and butter way to consistently go about getting decent amount of gold. Obviously on my free-to-play account, where I've got Cheyenne with no dupes, and then Jiwoo with 1 dupe. Those are my only SSRs with the plum sword. I managed to get that, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, artifacts with doo-doo stats, like full-on doo-doo stats, I've just been getting rid of. So that's kind of where that's kind of been a nice way on how I'm kind of maximizing my gold economy. So yeah, now just before we end the video, last thing when it comes to the shop side of things, there is a gold mini pack for 500 essence. It's a daily refresher, which is nice to have. I would say personally use this as a bit of a red button, because I mean it is costing you 500 essence, so it is kind of cutting into your resources to obtain new characters, so just be wary of that. But it is there, and if you do need a hefty amount of gold as soon as possible, then you have an option. If you are able to give up the 500 essence and it not affect you too badly, then that is an option to walk away with, where you get the 100k immediately, and then you'll basically get the 12-hour mark of the activity fund. So if you can actually work on the activity funds, then honestly this mini pack for gold support would not be a bad thing in terms of the amount of gold that you can maximize on getting through 3 of these. So that's out there. And also we do have the exchange shop right here, so there is gold in here, so so you can get a total of 500k from this. The red one, I would say if you really want gold, use the blue, keep the red off this, because there are just more valuable items to kind of obtain, especially when you are working your characters. But in total this will give you 1.5 million, 500,000. If you are going to get gold, I would say get it from this personally. And then does weapon exchange give you any gold? No. Mana crystals? No. Battlefield of Time does. So Battlefield of Time is again one of the game modes which you want to cater to, because in the long run, by getting these materials by the end of it, you can effectively get some gold from here. 20k per. So in total, you're walking around about, I think this in total was giving you a million. Yeah, so you can for 2.5k, it will give you 1 million gold. So these are nice ways to actually go about. I mean, of course, through the exchange shop, this is in the means of summoning. So if you have summoned a decent amount, or if you are going to be summoning and you just wait for the right banner, just know effectively by the end of it, you'll rack up some points, and then you can walk away with a good amount of gold if you want to invest into that. But make sure that you're putting in a time for Battlefield of Time and at least getting some of these rewards, because again, not only is it giving you some nice little rewards, which I'll probably have to go over at a later time, because you know, you don't really want to spend all your well, you don't really put all your eggs in one basket in terms of just getting a lot of gold, because some of these materials are really worth it and should be more focused on, so I'll do it in a separate video. But more ways to get gold, more ways to get gold, and more ways to get a high amount of gold. So there are things that you can do within the into the shop section to cater to that. But yeah, that is effectively all the ways to go about getting some gold.